Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.
Aloha, I'm Kaylee Towler.
I'm Jacqueline Collier.
I'm Caitlin Howard Gomez.
And I'm Lata Talasinga. We are here on the campus of our school, Kealakehe High School in West Hawaii.
Home base of today's episode of HIKI NŌ, the nation's first statewide student news network.
HIKI NŌ means can do, and you'll see just what students from our team of schools can do.
This episode's team is made up of schools from 4 islands.
From Kauai, there's Kula Niihau or Kekaha Public Charter School. From Maui, we have Hana K-12 School.
On Oahu, there's Kahuku High and Middle School, Kapolei High School, Kaimuki Middle School, and St. Francis School.
And from the big island of Hawaii, there's Connections Public Charter School, and of course, Kealakehe High School, home of the Wave Riders.
On this show, you'll hear from diverse voices across the island chain,
telling stories that connect communities.
On HIKI NŌ,
can do.
Before we introduce our first story, we'd like to recognize the grant organizations that helped make HIKI NŌ a reality.
They believe that Hawaii could create the nation's first statewide student news network.
They put their faith in us and said can do. To them, we say mahalo.
Now on with the show.
This is the entrance of Kealakehe High School, where the vision is harmony and unity through dynamic education and community for everyone, every time. Ever since the founding in 1997, Kealakehe has emphasized the need to build a strong sense of community and ohana. With 1,600 students, it is important to find ways to make students feel at home. Having a home is a necessity of life, but unfortunately, many people do not have a home, even here in Hawaii. Our first story comes today from the island of Oahu, where the beauty of the beaches attracts thousands of tourists each day. However, it is not a paradise to the growing number of people living on the island without a home. St. Francis School in Oahu takes a look at the serious problem of the homeless population.
Hawaii, paradise on earth, a wonderland of lush vegetation, picturesque white sand beaches, and majestic mountain vistas. Blessed with a perfect climate, an abundance of recreational and cultural activities, and world-class retail establishments, Hawaii is a dream destination for people from all over the world. Unfortunately, living in Hawaii is not a paradise for everyone. Every homeless resident has a different story of how they ended up on the street, and most also have different needs to get them back on their feet.
Homelessness is a problem that affects businesses, it affects our #1 industry, tourism, and it gives an impression of Hawaii that is not something that's very favorable if certain types of homeless people are sleeping in the sidewalks, they're not taking care of their personal hygiene. So if you take a look at that type of behavior, it's not something that any civilized state should tolerate, and we won't.
Because of the economic recession, more people, especially families, are sleeping in shelters, living in their cars, and taking up residence in tent communities.
If we build shelters, they won't necessarily come. We can go through a sweep and we can basically move a whole bunch of people and relocate them, but we give them the opportunity to go to a shelter, and some of them just don't want to go.
The old stereotype of a homeless person being a young, single, unemployed male is not a true reflection of Hawaii's homeless population today. An estimated 17 to 42% of Hawaii's homeless are employed full-time. Is something wrong with this picture? Don't working people usually have homes? Not all homeless residents want a permanent place to live, so some feel the focus should be on helping those who are willing to help themselves. Those on the street say providing more jobs and affordable housing is just one of the steps needed to reduce homelessness. The problem of homelessness cannot just be swept away. What can we do as both individuals and communities to help?
Simply to acknowledge homelessness by being able to clear your own conscience by saying, oh, I did something for these folks over here, now I'm going. And I'll be back. They're over there and we're over here. That's the reason that we're saying just feeding people and not feeding their souls is something that is actually working against them.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything else you see on HIKI NŌ, join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO or send us a tweet at twitter.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO.
We're here in Kealakehe High School's morning broadcast room, where we do a live broadcast to the school every day. This is where students, like myself, gain experience in what it might be like to enter in a career of broadcast journalism. Speaking of broadcasts, TC, a 2010 graduate of Kapolei High School on the island of Oahu, is the youngest commercial radio station DJ in the state of Hawaii. Let's hear more about his story.
The radio voice behind Island 98.5's TC is an 18-year-old graduate with a story of how he became Hawaii's youngest DJ.
You be funny right there with Homie Girl, it is Island 98.5. You're cruising with your better TC on your Monday.
My real name, first of all, is Theodore Kamuela Kasi-san. And my stage name from what I started with was actually when I was in middle school. I was 15. And I started with James Cole's United DJs and Musical Youth of Hawaii, which is a nonprofit organization. And he gave me the stage name Lil Homie TC. But now I just go by TC because I dropped the Lil Homie.
The question is Teddy the youngest DJ? I think he is, actually. He started at 17. And that was when we were hot 93.9. So yes, he was pretty much one of the youngest DJs to ever get his own on-air shift. And he's just getting started. How did he get to where he is right now? He had instant charisma. He was decent on the mic. He wasn't afraid of it. He would walk right after them and start talking to them and commanded them, and it was a wonderful thing. And pretty much that's where it all started.
At this time.
It was funny, I was looking for a new DJ for Hot 93.9 at the time, and I was looking for somebody young to be on the air that could relate to the young audience that was listening at night. I ended up talking to a friend of mine, James Coles, gave me TC's number and said, oh, this is the guy, he's young, he's still in high school, but he's going to be really good. So I called him up and asked him if he wanted to come in and interview.
Throughout the years, I started getting to know a lot of people in the business, such as Victor Bautista with Rhythm Creations, and that's really where I started. He was DJing the middle school dance at Kamehameha. The whole night, I wasn't the guy that was dancing with the girls on the floor and everything like that. I was the one behind trying to see what he was doing, and I would go over there and be like, ooh, can I do that? And he taught me, and I asked him if I could get in his classes, and it was a free class because it was a nonprofit organization, and that's where it all started.
We are selling bids here for your student luau with Nation 9 performing.
Teddy wants to learn everything, and that's what you got to do to make it in this game. He picked up the DJing like that. He picked up the MCing like that. He could go out and do the mobiles. He can go out and make the flyers. He kept on getting better and better and better at it. He was young, he was hip, he was already in the scene, so it was a perfect fit.
It's something I love to do, no matter what. Me being on stage as an MC, representing a radio station, whatever it may be. I love being up on that stage, and that's something I can see myself doing in the near future and probably for the rest of my life.
This is Joshua Saludes of Kapolei High School, reporting for HIKI NŌ.
I'm here on the Kealakehe High School stage here in our cafeteria. We do not currently have a drama program, however, people like myself do participate in community theater programs. The students from the TV series Glee joined a show choir to escape from their personal challenges. Kahuku High School felt inspired to do the same thing by forming Vocal Motion, a choral and dance program, with the help of their teacher. Let's head over to Oahu to hear what they have to say.
Many inspirational stories have happened here at our Kahuku football field, but right next to it is the music room, where Vocal Motion and Miss Kammerer use their musical talents to express their emotions.
Then I saw her face.
Vocal Motion is a group of about 30 high schoolers who get together and they sing and dance. We prepare a show choir show, so we get songs from movies, from Broadway, we get pop songs like Glee.
You talk a lot about Miss Kammerer. How does she get you guys to work so hard?
Really good at being able to talk to us, to help us to try to work harder. She doesn't really yell at us most of the time, and she does tell us that a lot, that we're selling ourselves short sometimes and we can be better.
Miss Kammerer guides us so that we can put on the best show that we can.
Or let the river run. I just don't want a whole lot of... Okay. Trey, who are you going to hold hands with? Pick a girl, any girl.
One of my favorite parts of Vocal Motion is dancing with boys, because it's fun.
Hear it in your head. Love him, I love him, I love him.
Love him, I love him, I love him. And where he goes, I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow.
Our choreography is so wonderful, and it's all coming from the mind and heart of Lynette Ho-Ching. She's so imaginative, and she's really great with the kids.
I come to love these kids like they're my own kids. And this has been a very challenging year because we've had a lot of ups and downs, and the kids have had a lot of experiences that are difficult to deal with as an adult, let alone as a teenager. And so I'm looking for ways, and I'm looking for music that will help them get through these hard times. In my spiritual life, I ask Heavenly Father to help me in everything that I do, so that as I'm trying to figure out how to help them, I'm asking Him to help me to help them.
I hope you enjoyed learning more about Vocal Motion. I'm Belina Mills from Kahuku High School for HIKI NŌ.
Let's go to Connections Public Charter School in East Hawaii, where we will learn about the oldest goat dairy farm on the Big Island.
The staff at Connections Public Charter School is very versatile. For example, our bus driver is also the owner of Puna Goat Dairy.
My name is Steve Sayre. I'm proprietor with my partner, Lava Stacy, at Lava Rocks Farm. The name of our product is Puna Goat Cheese. We've been in operation approximately 22 years. Our herd currently consists of approximately 50 milkers. We have 3 billy goats. The breeds we use are Alpine, Saanen, and Nubians. After we milk the goats, the milk is chilled to 45 degrees within 2 hours, which is a requirement by the state. The average goat gives, in the beginning, they give a gallon and a half, and at the end of their breeding cycle, the end of their cycle, they're giving about 2 to 3 quarts. We make a variety of cheeses on our farm. Our basic cheese is a chev, which is a cream cheese. In that, we add our spices. We add parsley, garlic, Hawaiian chili, dill garlic, rosemary black pepper, and also natural. To keep a good quality cheese, we pasteurize at low temperature, which is 145, and the milk is held at 145 for a half hour.
So the next time you buy Puna Goat cheese, you'll know how and where it was made. This is Dakota Helfrich from Connections Public Charter School reporting for HIKI NŌ.
So I just tried a sample of the cheese from the Puna Goat Dairy, and I gotta say it was pretty tasty. Another thing I really enjoy is fish. Fishing is a very old Hawaiian tradition, and from our campus you can see the fishing boats of Honokaha Harbor. On the sunny island of Maui, akule net fishing brings together the community of Hana. Let's travel to Hana School to hear their story.
In the heart of Hana lies Kapolei, where the tradition of akule fishing is still practiced. Uncle Blondie Kaina, a Hana fisherman, explains the process of how akule is gathered and its importance to our community.
The whole purpose is the fish we can, it's for the community actually. It's a community use. Everybody in the community have fish. The first thing we do is make sure that the net is loaded up in the boat. That's top priority. Then the kilo man's job is to come and look where the fish are. And if the fish is in the bay or a spot where that we can go and get it, then he'll get, my job is to go get the paddlers.
We get out there working with the kilo, which is Uncle Blondie, and he's on the shoreline, and we're in the water, and we have communication with the radio, and if it's all possible, we're all watching the fish, and then he'll let us know when the time to go and drop the net, and we'll start from there and go around the pile.
And then we have the bus boat. Their job is to go around and around in the net so that the fish be scared and go to the net, and then we can bring it up. So what they do when they're done, they'll stay over there and then they'll help Randy and whoever paddles with him. And they're there to help pick up the net, take the boat up to Igat's house where we do, everybody comes by, the whole community, whatever people come from the community and take out the fish, put them in a cooler, ice them down, and then we mahele the fish.
Mahele means to divide and to share. The akule caught is shared with the community. This tradition is a multi-generational tool that teaches respect, hard work, patience, discipline, and ultimately kuleana. Kuleana to our ocean, to our running streams, to our ohana, and to our ancestral lands. However, because of the depletion of ocean life and overfishing in the waters off of Hana, the akule tradition is in danger.
Oh, it changed a lot. From 20 years ago, and beyond that, it was easy to get akule. Now, it's rare. It's getting less, and getting less.
This is Teua Teiva from Hana K-12 School signing off for HIKI NŌ.
Now, here's another story from Hana K-12 School about another natural resource that is very important to the Hawaiian community in Hana.
According to Ale Murakami, litigation director for the Native Hawaiian Legal Corporation, an average of 166 million gallons of water is being diverted from East Maui every day to the more populated and developed parts of this island for their drinking and irrigating purposes. The loss of valuable water creates a problem for the people of East Maui. Many of them depend on the water for their livelihood.
When I was a kid, I would help my mom and dad in the taro patch. I had to go and pull the taro, cut the taro, cook it, clean it, and pound it. Having that responsibility made me feel good inside. We would play on the banks, there's banks around the taro patches, and then we would run, and I would just jump into the taro patch, just jump into the mud, and it was a lot of fun.
You think about water and what it does to the land. It gives life to the land, and that's what kane does. And so if we don't have that water and we don't have that reproduction, then there's no life. So it's very, very important to Hawaiian culture.
To have all that water and to have all that life in the stream, and then all of a sudden, no life. Because before it was like we would catch goldfish or opu, opai, and then when all the water was taken and depleted from the river, we didn't have any more.
Water flowing to the ocean is very important. That's like an estuary where the fresh water meets the ocean is where all the fish come to breed, because all the river brings down all the nutrients that feeds the limu. So that starts the whole cycle of life for the ocean. So if you take that away, you're going to greatly reduce your fish populations. Now we're not able to sustain ourselves in a natural way anymore.
What would make me happy is when I stand on the lookout and see all the taro open, the taro patches, the way it used to be. So right now it's all grass. So, but I'd be really happy if somebody opened it.
The people of East Maui have hope for the future, but where will they be without the most basic element of life? Like their ancestors, the question is still being asked, where are the waters of Kane? This is Jorah Tolentino Smith for Hana K-12 School for HIKI NŌ.
If you'd like to comment on this story or anything on HIKI NŌ, please feel free to join the discussion at facebook.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO, or you can tweet us at twitter.com/HIKI-NO-CAN-DO. Speaking of social networking, Kaimuki Middle School is here to tell us about why they prefer texting over face-to-face talking. Let's tune in to see.
Cell phones are now a part of everyday life. One of the features on most phones have become a new way of communicating with the cell phone. Text messaging, better known as texting, has become the most popular way to use a cell phone these days. Approximately 74% of all cell phone users use their phones to communicate by texting than actually talking on the phone.
Some people find it easier and prefer to communicate via texting in quiet places such as the library.
Okay, you know what? I'll call you back later. Bye.
Some people don't want others to hear their conversations, so they turn to texting as a way to keep their conversations private.
A great feature texting has is that you are able to retrieve past messages that you received because they are saved in the phone's memory.
As a result of texting becoming such a popular way to communicate,
A new kind of language is used to make the messages more brief and communication quicker.
This is Tori,
Hana,
and Monica from Kaimuki Middle School reporting for HIKI NŌ.
This is the Kealakehe High School Field of Dreams, where graduating seniors receive their diploma from their Ohana teachers and take the next step towards fulfilling their dreams.
We are at one of Kealakehe's central courtyards, where we have a Polynesian star compass that was designed by artist Karen Lucas. Just like the ancient voyagers who used the compass to direct them in the stormy seas, we all need an inner compass to guide us in the right direction. In our next story, the students of Kula Niihau or Kekaha Public Charter School on the island of Kauai interview Hope Kaimi Strickland, who shares how Niihau Hawaiians use their inner compass to navigate their way through two different worlds.
Aloha, my name is Hope Kaimi Strickland. My parents are Keoki and Hau'oli Keamo'ai, and my grandparents is Abraham and Hana Niihau. I was born in Kauai and I was raised in Niihau. Family was everything over there to everybody. Like, we like to be around each other because family are always traveling from Kauai to Niihau. I went to school in Niihau, and growing up was kind of hard because everything was taught in English, not in Hawaiian dialect, in Niihau dialect. We moved to Kauai because my mom had a medical reason. It was hard because, you know, when you're coming home, it's not like you're playing on the playground with your friends on Niihau. Over here, it's like playing with somebody totally different. And then you cannot use your dialect because nobody understands what you're trying to say. First, I graduated from Waihine High School in 1983 and decided to take some kind of college classes because I wanted to know more about early childhood development, and I decided to go to Mendocino College in California, Northern California.
Kaimi met Patrick A. Strickland in 1991. They fell in love, got married, and had 3 children. Patrick's wish for their kids was to learn Kaimi's language and culture.
When he passed away in 2002, I was supposed to move back to California. And I decided, you know, making my husband's dream come true for my kids is moving back to Kauai.
The Niihau language is a unique dialect of Hawaiian. Today, there may be fewer than 300 fluent speakers.
You know, we're trying to keep our dialect alive. It's something that's not going to grow if our children don't keep it alive, because it can fade away like any time, you know. Te ia manawa te raku hana kātu te kātu hawina te mana aili ke me te manawa kani no ka tumu te manawa ta kamapiula kamani hanai. Ta manawa kani toa tahi to kātu hana kātu te kātu pa hawina maluna weno ta pute tumu meitei te raku hana raku ta te raku maupi raku akame raku ta hana ana manu na kamapiula. Back in the days, it's like technology wasn't anything, but nowadays technology is really important for them. Aloha.
For HIKI NŌ, this is Hana K-12.
Thank you for watching the last all-new episode of the season premiere of HIKI NŌ. I'm sure you'll agree that when it comes to news, Hawaii students HIKI NŌ can do.
We thank you for your support and hope you enjoyed watching the nation's first statewide student news network as much as we enjoyed presenting our stories to you.
Next week, we'll take a look back at the maiden voyage of HIKI NŌ with some of the top stories of this historic season.
We leave you now with a montage of the sights and sounds of Kealakehe High School, home of the Wave Riders.
Broadcasts of HIKI NŌ are made possible by the support of viewers like you. Mahalo. And by Bank of Hawaii Foundation, investing in Hawaii's future by promoting collaboration, critical thinking, and other 21st century skills through HIKI NŌ.